Hi guys, Isaac Heinen, PDGA 44919, representing Team Discraft, and this is in my bag. We're going to start off with my favorite part of the game, the putters. Here I've got the soft ROACH. These two are my main putting putters. I don't know the difference between them, so during a round I throw either. This one's a little straighter. I'll throw this one some, or if I have a really long straight jump putt, I'll break into those. Love the soft grippy plastic. I transitioned from this looking for something a little more straight and a little more glidey than the Luna, and I've been absolutely in love with this disc since last fall. Also throwing sometimes the BUZZZ ROACH. This is significantly more stable than these other roaches. It goes far. It's a really fun putter to throw. Windy conditions, I really like it. Other putters that I throw, I have a Proto Luna. I used to putt with the Luna a lot, and then when I started throwing it, it's an awesome throwing putter. And although I've transitioned to the ROACH, this disc will be really hard to replace. Just an awesome fly. We've seen some of the things that Macbeth can do, and it's just amazing. I'll sit it up, it'll flip over, it'll hold its line, hyzer, it'll do anything. Beyond that, I got two zones. The soft X zone is my preferred zone. It's beat in a little bit, so super glidey. I can flick it, I can backhand it. It's soft, so landing on the approaches, it's just fantastic. Being in Kansas though, sometimes we do have some crazy winds, so sometimes we'll opt for the more stable ESP. This one does have a little bit more skips and flares, so if I need to kind of sneak under anything, or like I said, if I'm fighting a headwind. Next, we'll move on to the mid-ranges. I carry the METEOR. The METEOR is one of the most underrated discs from Discraft in my opinion. It can handle a lot of power and it goes really far. I can throw this thing as far as some of my drivers. Love it for kind of those long turnover shots. Next up, I have my buzzes. I have a Z-Buzz right here. This is my straight buzz at the moment. Monkey Island Ace last year, so kind of a special disc to me. And one of the first buzzes I ever owned. I've probably owned this disc for 7 or 8 years. Had it for a long time. Really like this disc. And then brand new, representing the KU squad, my Crystal Buzz. I'm trying to help them get to nationals this year. This thing has some stiffness. It's the new crystal plastic, so super stiff. And then it also has a little bit more stability. So if I need a buzz to kind of fade out or a little bit of wind up, this is the one I'm throwing. And then probably my favorite disc in my bag right now is this FLX drone. I believe these are actually out of production, but it's super gummy, super soft, and I've been throwing it for several years, so it's beat in. Nothing like, we've all seen Andrew Presnell's green drone that does crazy things. This one's still stable, still fights the wind, but because it is beat in, it has some extra glide to fade out. All right, fairway drivers. I have quite a few different fairway drivers. I like to make sure I have all my shots covered with them. Molds come in and come out, but this is what I've got right now. The Undertaker has been one of my favorite discs since I came into Discraft last year. This Z Undertaker I've been throwing since then. It's gotten really flippy, but this thing's fun. I'll throw rollers with it, big turnovers. Definitely one of the favorite discs in my bag. Recently added a brand new ESP. It's one of my fundraiser stamps. I really like this thing a lot. It's a lot straighter. Pretty much just kind of stable. I'll throw in a little bit of hyzer, it'll just go straight and then fade out at the end. Really like the Undertaker. Next up, I have this Predator right here, which most people say is not a Predator. If I was to kind of compare it to something, it's probably like a beat-in Vulture or something like that. I'll throw just a little bit hyzer. It'll fade out, roll over a ways, and then come back. Like I said, everyone jokes with me it's not a Predator. It's just a really old one. And then getting a little more stability, I've been messing with the Raptor and the Predator. The Raptor is a little less stable than my Predator. I like this more for flicks, and I prefer this more for backhands. This one fights the wind a little bit better. This one goes a little bit farther. And then lastly, I've been messing with the Test Flight Onyx. This thing's super fun, a lot more stable than I thought it was. But if I need something that goes just a little bit farther than my Predator Raptor, I'm usually reaching for this. All right, moving on to my distance drivers. Main distance driver I would say is the Force. I have 4 different Forces, all different stability, starting from flippiest. This thing's a distance bomber for me. This thing goes a long ways. I can push this thing 450, 470, just flips, rides real nice. Just a little bit more stable, a couple ESPs, just a little bit more stable. And then my most overstable, it's a pink domey, brand new 5-time Force from Macbeth. Really like this thing. It can handle some headwinds, it can do some crazy things, big skips. So yeah, love my Forces. Being in Kansas though, sometimes I do need to handle even a little more wind, so that's when I break out the NUKE OS. I prefer the titanium. The Z is just a little bit too overstable for me. The nice thing about titanium is it'll break in, bend in a little bit, and it'll fight any headwinds. Thing will never roll over on you. It's kind of like throwing a car tire. You'll throw it and then it'll just fall out of the sky. And then very lastly, for big distance, I love the nukes. I have an old beat up Z nuke that I got from Eric Eastwood. This thing is great for flicks. I prefer forehanding the nuke. And this thing just goes a long ways. And then if I need just a little bit more stability, I really like the glide and extra stability of the big Z nukes. These things just, they have more stability, they go a long ways. And I love seeing these push them 450, 470, sometimes 500. So great disc, really love throwing these. Like to thank Discraft. They make everything possible for me out on the road whenever I'm in Kansas City or traveling. I've loved their discs. It's been a dream to be sponsored by them, and I'm looking forward to see what everything brings. And that's my in the bag. Snacks, lots of snacks, towels, gloves, nothing really exciting. Yeah.